And welcome to another podcast, everybody. This week we got plenty to talk about. We've actually had news, there's been developments, things are going on, rumors are starting to show up again, so there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. And as always, before we get to it, thank you to all the community members tossing us a few dollars a month to get various additional content, from gaming discussions with myself and Tristan, to of course our audio commentaries dropping every week, currently The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and every chapter of the Snyder Cut is coming out. And once the Bad Batch starts, I'll be doing reviews of that. There's going to be more gaming news and various other content that rolls throughout the week, as you've noticed if you're a member of the community. If you're not, check it out. Maybe there's something there that you guys will find interesting, and soon we will be adding a few extra things. I don't want to confirm what they are, but I'll tease it here. But now, with that in mind, let's get to the actual show. We got some stuff to talk about, so let's waste no time. Yes, another action-packed week here on the show. I can assure you. Oh boy, it's gonna be good, Mitch. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Or it's me just getting older that I'm feeling in my bones. It's one of the two.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah,
It's age. It's age.
See, like, I knew I was getting old when I make references and people are like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, man, it's a reference to something from 2000. So if you don't get something from the year 2000, I don't know, man. I feel like, things are gone crazy.
I found out I was old when I realized how long ago Scrubs and How I Met Your Mother was.
Oh.
It's just like, oh no. Those things started like 15 years ago. Maybe 20.
I had this moment where I was just a couple days ago at this point. I was cleaning old consoles because PlayStation's doing a bunch of they're shutting down the store, but you'll still be able to get all your stuff. And I was like, well, look, I got a couple PS3s because I never really resell them. I just let them sit there. So I was like, I'm gonna reinstall everything, reboot it and all that, fresh install and get some of these games on here. So I'm sitting there, and there was a couple people over, and their kid walks by, like, as they came in, and he goes, "Oh wow, a PlayStation 3, I've heard of those old consoles."
Oh,
and I was
God.
like, what? And it was the George Foreman also. He was like, "Wow, is that how big it is?" I was like, old school. Oh damn. This console was like 16, 17 years ago. Okay, it's all right. You win, kid.
It was 2005?
Yeah, 5, 6, yeah.
I think. That's horrendous.
Well, that's the story of how old I felt. I was like, man, I will blow this kid's mind if I pull out my freaking Dreamcast and my Sega Saturn.
He's an Atari.
He probably thinks it's like made out of stone and chiseled by cavemen.
It's when he says, it's like, wow, I played that on my phone. It's just like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a phone game when it came out. God damn.
That Grand Theft Auto stories from Vice City or whatever, that's probably available on the phones. That was peak graphics 20 years ago, kids.
God, won't it just?
Yeah.
Now look at it.
Well, I just realized, again, if I look at the demographic of this podcast, people are going to be like, wait, that's not me. It's like, yeah, you guys are older. But the younglings that listen to this...
to you.
Yeah, that's what happened to you. I used to be with it. Oh, God. So, yes, as always, this is your host, Armin. I'm here, feeling old, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692, and I'm older too.
Have you hit the point where you can't have caffeine after a certain age yet, or a certain like daytime?
No, I can have coffee. I don't drink much coffee anyway. But, it kicks in, in the stomach a lot quicker than it used to. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I can't drink anything caffeinated after like 6:30, 7 at night max. Because if I do, I am awake all night, and it's not good because I think of the dumbest things. Like,
so coffee's never had that effect on me. It's never like worked properly. I just like the taste of it. But I'm just on the water now. I've only drunk water really for the last like couple of years.
See, I'm at that moment like a couple nights ago. I had a night where I drank a couple sodas because I was watching wrestling, and I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt. And like middle of the night, I wake up. It's like 2:30, and my brain was like, remember Stilt Man from Daredevil? And then
God.
my brain just gets active with the dumbest things that like I buried in like the back. I'm like, oh no, why?
I hate that. Runaway Brain's the worst.
Uh-huh.
Absolute worst.
Yeah. See, the whole point of this thing is because I did the little intro before this. I'm like, I'm telling them we're gonna get to the action and the news quick, and now I'm just dragging it out. They're probably like, come on. They're like, Millhouse, when did they get to the fireworks factory?
I honestly forgot what we were doing just then. So
That's
just
okay.
like, I talk. That's all I do.
When are they gonna get to the Spider-Man 4 topic? I'm gonna drag it out for as long as possible.
Right at the end.
So yes, that's us people. That's what we're up to. Let us know how old you're feeling these days, or maybe young. Maybe you're one of these people that's in with the crew, listening to your Tony Hawk soundtrack or whatever. The kids don't know who Tony Hawk is. Never mind. You're who the hell's popular these days? Who the hell do kids like these days?
I don't even know. I just see names thrown about and they just random letters thrown together. I'm just like, okay.
Y'all listen to your Ragdo Bago. There we go. That must be somebody.
Rago Bago.
That sounds like a killer clown. I'll be real with you. I don't know. Yes, but with that in mind, we're just gonna get on with the show. It started off as a train wreck, so it's gonna keep on going.
Just gonna keep on crashing.
Yep.
Just gonna get worse.
We are crashing into the multiverse here and splintering timelines and everything with that out of nowhere drop for the trailer for Loki.
Yeah. It really did just come out of nowhere.
It was like what, Tuesday afternoon, like Tuesday, like 9 a.m. or something. Nobody knew it was coming. Nobody said, "Oh, this is gonna drop soon." And suddenly, here's your Loki trailer. Oh,
Which is weird. It's like, why now?
yeah.
Falcon's only half. Well, I say it's only halfway through. It's halfway through. You got Widow to advertise,
Right.
and you still got at least a month for this to come out. It just seems really a bit too soon. But
Yeah, it felt weird, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe they're so confident in this. And again, like, the marketing tactic has changed. WandaVision obviously was interesting because they were still finishing that show as they were advertising it. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier still had post-production. So maybe this one's like, hey, let's just get this out there, get people to know, here's what's coming. Which, again, it does make sense because I saw the trailer get tons of traction. So
it's Loki. It was always going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
If this one doesn't get their highest numbers, I'd be surprised.
Same. Yep.
Really surprised, but I mean, it looks good for all intents and purposes. It was the lowest on my list, and here we are. It's just like, you know what,
Yep.
I'm on board.
Yep. That's how it was. I felt like throughout the trailer that it's gonna have the Wanda effect, where unlike again, Falcon and Winter Soldier does not have that to the big degree because it's not the mystery style series, but WandaVision had that and had you like looking through everything. I have a feeling this is going to do the same thing because this trailer was just loaded with little things and like, oh, who's the hooded figure and who's this gonna and who's that? It's like, I do like that because again, you're going into this multiverse aspect of it, so different times, different characters, different things can happen, and there's those scenes of like Asgard fragmented or broken that look really cool, like.
Is that like the Dutch angle one where it's all skewish and
Yes.
it's all black, blue, and orange? Yeah,
Yep.
I thought that was Asgard. I wasn't sure.
So, what's your take on that scene? What do you think's happening? Because I got a theory.
I mean, maybe it's like at the point of Ragnarok,
Mm-hmm.
and like time's just stopped or something.
Yeah. See,
I think a lot of this is going to be, this was this event, but time stopped at this exact moment, and now he's got to do a thing.
yeah.
Hopefully, it's not just that every week, but I can see it being that way.
I think it'll be a little bit more than that, but in that specific instant, my prediction is that, Asgard gets, I don't know, what's the best way to say it? It gets destroyed, like obliterated, I guess is the correct word I'll use.
It gets stabbed.
Yeah.
That's how it went.
My guess is this is at the time of everything exploding, which is why it's being held by like energy cracks. And I'm gonna guess Loki's sent there to retrieve something from Odin's vault that the time variant needs.
I could see that. Yeah.
It seems like that every time period will have a specific reason and a moment, and maybe it's tied to somehow Infinity Stones or where they were at one point, or maybe it's just specific props and things. Because I mean, I don't know. It seems all over the place, but I think that's kind of the intrigue of it. So
yeah, well, I think he had something. Yeah, the Tablet of Life and Time was in there. So maybe it could be there. It'd be funny if they're literally after the fake gauntlet and it's not actually fake. It's just a different reality. It's literally just a variant.
That'd be funny. That'd be awesome too.
We need it. It won't work in our universe, but we need it.
Yeah. I mean, that could work, honestly. So it's one of those things where like I wouldn't mind if they took that approach to it as well. And you know, I mean, there's plenty in this trailer. It got me really hyped, and that's kind of, I guess, the best thing it could have done. It's like, oh, it got me even more hyped, and I was already hyped after that first teaser. So
yeah, it does. It looks really good. It just doesn't give anything away. It's like, here's your basic premise.
Yeah.
It's Loki. He's technically a prisoner. He's having to do like work release or whatever it's called. And then he goes through time helping stuff. Everything else apart from that, you now got no idea. So
yeah, it sounds good to me. Honestly, it looks good. It looks interesting. It looks like they're gonna have another different style of Marvel show before we get to, you know, like What If, which is picking up after this, which looks pretty awesome. Also, a part of me when watching this trailer, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna reveal like more connections to the multiverse. Like, even seeing this trailer now, I don't understand why they decided not to include this show with the whole multiverse angle. It's weird.
It's very weird. But this feels more like a Young Avengers setup than anything.
Yeah.
Purely like, excuse me. There's the whole thing of Kang being in this. And their first arc was very much a Kang story. So if we use this to get him in there, and then we know the idea of Kang, and then you can do the Young Avengers. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it could also be like Kid Loki in there as well.
I assume we are 100% getting Kid Loki.
Yeah, because I assume the woman he's talking to in that weird like purple place is like Lady Loki at least. So different versions of Loki. Like, yeah.
I like how people are still being like, that's clearly Natasha before she dies. I'm like, dude, her hair doesn't even make sense.
I was gonna say that did not add up in the slightest. But
maybe she's the Black Widow of that multiverse, but she's still Loki. Like, that's a possibility, but that's not Natasha. Like, come on.
Or if it is Natasha, it's from Infinity War, and something happened in Infinity War. That's a variant in time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could take that approach.
That's the only thing I can think of, but I think it's more safe to assume she's Lady Loki.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, we'll talk about this more. It's going to be with us soon, all things considered, June 11th.
June 11th.
So get hyped, everybody. We're certainly getting hyped, so when we get to it, we'll talk more about it. Originally, right before the Fox acquisition by Disney, there was a Deadpool animated series in the works, and it was going to be hard R-rated and everything, and it fell apart, and a couple interesting stories popped up since then, being like, well, Disney didn't want that to be their first Deadpool project, which does make sense. I mean, they canceled multiple Star Wars projects like that CG claymation thing with what's his name?
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like they've done this plenty of times, and there's been some rumors of them reviving Deadpool as an animated project, possibly on FX or Hulu or wherever they go. And Rob Liefeld was asked if there was any truth to this and if he's heard about it, and he replied saying, yeah, he's heard about this, like that there is something that would be happening with it or could be. So, I mean, I feel like we're gonna get Deadpool animated.
Yeah.
It seems like a no-brainer. Like, you could probably get Ryan Reynolds to voice him again and everything. I just think they didn't want it to muddy up the approach that they were going to take to all the Fox stuff, and it was a different vision from a different studio that they were like, let's not do that, like this always happens. So
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's to getting Donald Glover's good books. That's if Donald Glover's back to do this.
Yeah. Which
we get in the Lando series, which he's in. It's like, he's in the Spider-Man franchise. It's like, hey, if you want to do some more stuff and keep you happy, have your Deadpool series back.
Exactly. It's like, look, it's a little overdue, but we had ideas for it, and I mean, you could even run that as a joke, being like, they try to cancel me at Disney, but no, I'm back. Like, it works, but I think this kind of brings it into the whole bigger aspect of I guess Disney animation and Deadpool, because there were some rumors, which again, rumors, I want to stress that, but that Deadpool could be a character that could appear in What If, which, I mean,
maybe.
If you were going to introduce them elsewhere, a What If would be the logical place, for me at least. I don't know where else you could toss that character and not have him feel awkward. Maybe it's a good word, I'm not sure.
I mean, I think anyway, you just randomly chuck him in, he's going to be awkward.
Yeah. He's going to be awkward in the MCU as it is, so.
Yeah. It's Deadpool as well, so he's always awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, What If it's a good spot? You could do it in Loki.
Oh.
Not that I think he's going to be in Loki at all.
No.
But it's a possible place he could have shown up. What else is coming out that he could put Deadpool in?
I feel like it's only really those, because I don't think you toss him into, like, the myriad of other projects you have in development that are semi-serious. Like, he doesn't seem like this is a perfect place to toss this character. It's like, is it, though? Is this really the place to toss him in? Yeah, probably not. Okay, good.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly,
Like Doctor Strange is all going really horror, and then Deadpool just suddenly shows up. Like, ooh.
Yeah. It's that type of scenario. And again, maybe the reason they do something animated with them is because they're like, look, we're falling behind on some other projects. Deadpool 3 is still, it's not the most urgent thing we're going to do. So, it's do this for now. Here you go. It's
probably quick, dirty, and cheap, isn't it?
Exactly. That's the key, because they have the same animation and tech, whatever they were using to do it back in the day for that original series. So even if you were to revive that same thing, you could just be like, look, it's back. Okay.
Aren't we the good guys? We saved the thing we cancelled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise us. Just like Fox.
Oh.
Deadpool's gone full circle. No matter where he is, he gets cancelled and revived.
And funny enough, the same person that keeps saying that everything about him is canceled and they're not going to do anything with him, they constantly keep doing things with him. He's like, see, I was right. They were going to do something with him. Wait. What? That's... Sure.
Liefeld is just Liefeld. He's
Yup.
one of the dumbest people you'll ever talk to.
Talked to him twice. So, yeah.
Never talked to him, but he's the dumbest person I've spoken to.
Well, with that in mind, hopefully we get some updates on Deadpool going animated, because I would like to see that, because I'd be interested in it. But when we get to it, I suppose we will. Well, when the tide changes at WB, so does everything they do with DC, and lo and behold, the Trench is canceled, which that's the lesser of the loss. Yeah, it's
literally no one cares about the Trench.
I could sit there and be like, oh no, they canceled the Trench. Look, it is what it is. The bigger bummer is the absolute travesty that they canceled New Gods.
And the reason as well. The reason is it's not even a reason.
Here, well, why don't you tell the fine folks listen to this the dumb reason?
Well, apparently they didn't want backlash from the Snyder fan base because they're going to be a different version of the New Gods. So despite sitting here and saying that they're going to have a multiverse that's going to let them do all this different stuff, i.e. we're about to have 3 to 4 different Batmen in movies at the same time. We can't have 2 different versions of the New Gods.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand.
I have this feeling that a part of it was the whole, look, we're going to suffer so much backlash, we can't do this. But at the same time, that also bought them the excuse. So it's like, let's just double down on this. And then
they also said it doesn't fit into our schedule. It's like, well, Black Adam didn't fit into your schedule for the last 20 years. Why is that still happening?
Black Adam didn't fit in. How about like, I don't know,
Steven Spielberg's
Nighthawks or whatever the hell. Yeah, I don't
movie, whatever it was.
Yeah, and there's so many other things you could bring up. Like, wait, how about Green Lantern? Like,
well, actually, that was mentioned in the article. That
it was
said about this. Yeah, and
it's coming within the next 3 years. They hope.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Cool.
But so even then, yes, Green Lantern. There's more than one Green Lantern, but they referenced the movie, not the show.
Yeah.
So unless that was just someone making a cock up in the article, which I doubt it.
Well, the show was supposed to already apparently have started production.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah,
because it was supposed to start in like April. Like they were supposed to be in full swing of it and already have cast stuff, and well, boy,
got no casting, got no nothing.
That did not go according to plan. So
you wait, that'll be what drops after this.
Probably, yeah.
Either that, or they're going to wait till the end of April. It's just dumb.
Yeah, I don't get this. Like, you're in the same article, literally in interviews following as well, you're like, the great thing is we can let people do whatever they want because multiverse, we're taking a new approach where you're going to have so many different pieces of content and different things that there's something for everybody. Cancel the different things. Wait.
Yeah.
What? Like,
It's like, yeah, I get they're probably also a bit worried about Eternals being compared to that, but it's like you announced New Gods before Eternals. People already thought Eternals was copying New Gods.
Yeah.
People already, still don't understand that Eternals New Gods are different. In fairness, they are very different. Yes, they're made by Jack Kirby, but besides the point.
Yeah, that's your only like real big thing. It's like at face value, sure, they're the same, but they're the same as DC and Marvel. Like that's the comparison. Yeah. It's like no.
They're wildly different to each other, and it's hey, one movie got filmed, and it has a release date. Whether it will hit that or not, we don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's
and then there's like, oh no, if these movies ever kick back up again, we want Ava and One to come back, and it's just like I tell them to screw off, really.
Yeah,
be like, no, just wasted 4 years of my life. To be fair, they took like 4 years to even get a script together for these movies, but
I bet you they had such a solid script as well.
Yeah.
Like that creative team, man, I bet you that thing was solid as hell. And they just looked at it, they're like, so how much is this going to cost? They're like, $220 million. They're like, can you shave off 200 million about? They're like, what? Okay, so that's a no. Well, okay, so we're canceling that then.
Yeah. Because everything that's coming out now, bar maybe a Flashpoint, everything feels small and I'm going to use the word cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Batman, I'm not sure what the budget is on that, but it doesn't feel like you need 200 million for it.
It feels like their biggest budget things are going to be Aquaman from this point on out.
Yeah. It's like, is it safe? Is it a big thing people know? Cool, do it.
Yeah.
Everything else, no. It's just like, why? You need to be different. Do New Gods.
Yeah, I don't know. I got this sneaky suspicion that like they were just holding on to that for support us. We're listening to the fans. And the moment they were like, well, I guess now we can drop this news because there's so much happening with other things, like the whole Jeff Johns' situation keeps getting worse and worse. It's like we could just drop it along with that, and people look over that quickly because controversies here. It's like
they've had a really bad week.
Yes, they have.
WB, DC, a really bad week. I mean, maybe Johns has something to do with it. They're kind of like, yeah, you know what, we're just going to get rid of.
Oh, I guarantee he has something to do with that movie. I can also, let's say things that I've heard. Definitely, his name would have been on the project. So
doesn't surprise me.
If you don't want that, just don't talk about it. Maybe cancel it, and it won't be anything, and maybe you can avoid some more controversy. Which, again, that to me does seem very fitting. So,
but even then, even if it is to do with Johns, it's just like just get rid of Johns.
Yeah,
I know. Like no Wayne, how did he come across great in that article? He didn't even say anything himself. It was his play spokesman.
Yeah,
but it's like just get rid of him and give me New Gods. It's the only movie I cared about really, apart from like the Batman. But...
Yep. Well, don't worry. They'll announce at least 3 more attempts at Blue Beetle in the next week, and then that'll never be mentioned again up until the new version of Blue Beetle is announced years from now. You can actually, go back to, 2012 and start tracing every time DC announced a project and canceled it. You're going to find Lobo, Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold at least, 6 times.
Oh, yeah. Warner Brothers' biggest problem is they announce stuff that they literally just like the idea of.
Yeah.
Marvel, no doubt, and every other studio out there, no doubt, have 1,000 things they'd like to do, but they're not going to sit there and announce every single thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this is clearly what WB are doing. It's, we're going to do a Trench movie. It's like you're not actually going to do a Trench movie. You're just saying it's in development, but you're not going to like the idea in the end because no one wants it. So just bin it away. Because it's not anything new that happens to WB that doesn't happen to anyone else. Like, they all go through it. It's just for some reason WB make it public, and I don't understand why.
And people also need to understand that commissioning these scripts and concept art for these movies costs them money. So they're already millions in before they even start production on the film. So,
yeah,
what a nightmare. But hey, join us in about 4 to 5 weeks when we talk about the probably canceled whatever else was announced in the next 2 weeks. So, we'll see.
Say, what do you reckon? Is Zatanna gonna make it?
Here's the angle on Zatanna that they have to take if they wanted to make it. She has to be a person of color because they're going to try to cover up the whole Jeff Johns situation. And they can't do it to Batgirl. So they're going to make, because the previous rumor was Batgirl was going to be a person of color, and that got a lot of backlash.
Yeah, it's true.
So if they make it Zatanna, it's like, not everybody knows Zatanna already, so they can get away with it being like, see? PR friendly, woo! It's like, cool. But yeah, I don't think Zatanna makes it out personally, unless it goes through a substantial change, which that's my,
I know the writers said something recently. Not that I haven't read the interview or anything, but it's just like, I don't know if I'm getting direct. It's just like, oh.
But hey, Mitch. Guess what? In 2.5 years, J.J. Abrams' deal with WB is up, and he will not have put out a single project. Isn't that awesome?
What a waste of money. We've had nothing. That's crazy.
Nothing.
Absolutely crazy.
There's not even a timetable, because they said, here's the next couple of years of films. Nothing Abrams has in development is on there. What a colossal waste of everything. I guarantee they'll get his Superman out right before his contract is up, and that's it.
Yeah, that'd be the one thing, yeah.
Wow. They will have spent more on just locking him down for 5 years than they will on that entire movie, and the money, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
What a WB situation.
Yeah.
What a situation. How about those Shang-Chi leaks that keep coming at us?
Yeah, there's so many. This is what happens when your movie is delayed and you don't even give us a trailer.
Why
are we getting another Loki? I know Loki's closer than Shang-Chi, but we should be getting a Shang-Chi trailer by now.
We should have at least a teaser and a poster. Like, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. Like, at least something where we can see the suit.
Yup.
And that's it. But thanks to Toy Leaks, we've seen everything.
We've seen the characters. We've seen a white dragon.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
White and orange, the Great Protector. Which
I'm gonna
makes me
guess
wonder if Fing Fang Foom's not in the movie.
maybe, or I'm gonna guess that maybe there could be rivaling dragons. Like, okay,
Possibly, yeah.
here's my take on it. Tying it in with the old rumors we heard about a dragon that's a protector being underneath a city or a town. That's the white dragon. Mandarin has organized this tournament to find somebody who's worthy enough to awaken an evil dragon, which is going to be Fin Fang Foom. And at the end, we're getting a giant dragon battle.
I can see it. Yeah.
Dude, we're going to get kaijus in the MCU, technically.
Yeah. Man. Need Monster Island as well. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, look, the toy leaks look good. Like, you have
I
to...
think everything looks good. I'm not convinced on Wen Wu, who's supposed to be the Mandarin. I'm just like, he doesn't look like the Mandarin.
Is there something specifically about it, or...
I mean, he looks like straight out of Mortal Kombat. I'm like, that's not the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Like, Ben Kingsley looked like the Mandarin.
Yeah.
The whole green robe and everything. Like, this guy, not that he needs a green robe. You know, Mandarin's had like 12,000 different looks through his time. And so I can live with the rings. If the rings on his arms are the 10 rings, I can live with that. As long as they do something, they're not just there. Like, they need to have a purpose for me to be alright with it. But, you know, it's a toy leak. It might not even be his final look. I don't know. It could just be what he fights in, but looking at it, I'm just like, it doesn't look like the Mandarin to me. But
I mean, the whole thing with all these toy leaks, again, they are toy leaks, which...
Yeah, toys always go a fault concept art anyway.
Yeah, and they're approximations, but at the same time, you're just like, okay, I don't know, maybe they're doing this or that, or whatever they're doing, or what they're trying to do. I mean, I don't fault them for taking a different angle at it, because...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's not like I hate them anyway. It's just like, it's not the Mandarin.
Yeah,
I'm just confused why you made a point. Well, they didn't even really make a point of it. It was always like THR and the trades that made a point of it. If you're going to do the Mandarin and do the Mandarin properly, this isn't doing the Mandarin properly. Not that it very well could be the rings are like the whole alien thing, and each one does individual things. They've all got their own voices, blah, 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 blah. But just looking at him is like, if that was the look you're going to go for, you could at least made him green.
When I first saw those leaks and him on there, it didn't click with me that was Mandarin.
No.
So
because it's weird that they've given him a name. It's just like the Mandarin hasn't got a name. It's just the Mandarin.
Yeah. Huh.
Which is, I'm not even like hating on the thing at all. It's just I just find it odd, and a part of me is like, are we sure that's really the Mandarin? I can't remember if Marvel ever said they're doing the Mandarin in this, but
I believe Kevin Feige did say that.
Which I suppose you don't call it the 10 rings in the Mandarin.
Exactly.
I'm a dumb.
I mean, do they dare do another swerve on Mandarin and just make that a running gag? Because
see, that's the thing. I don't know. I think if they do, you're kind of playing with fire a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like, people are going to see the movie anyway. Let's be honest. Like, it's going to be huge.
Here, I can tell you this: nobody's going to see Shang-Chi because their favorite character is Mandarin. Like, come on,
No.
Come on.
No, you really don't. But, no, it's just, they're doing so much stuff to be as close to the comics as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really going out of their way at the minute. Yet the Mandarin it looks like that. It's just like, okay, you know, it is a toy league. It might not even be the Mandarin. I'm not entirely sure if Wen Wu is the Mandarin. Not people are just saying it is. Like the whole 10 rings on his arms kind of adds up a little bit.
Yeah,
if that's the way, but it just doesn't. I don't know the word for it. it doesn't feel, it does not feel right, like add up in a way. It's
I
just like,
think
are we sure that's the Mandarin? It's just weird.
it could be
It's
one
just
of those things where also we look at it and it's a toy leak, like I don't know, and then you see it in the finished product, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I could absolutely love it when it comes out. You know, I
Yeah.
don't even hate it now. It's just like it just doesn't look
It
like the
just
Mandarin.
doesn't, yeah, it doesn't track with what you know and expect. So
Especially when you look at everyone like Death Dealer and everyone else, it's like, yeah, that's straight from the comics. Like
yeah,
Shang-Chi, straight. They've changed Shang-Chi up slightly with how he looks, but I think he looks great. It's like, here's your Mandarin. It's like, oh, what happened to my Mandarin?
yeah,
And I get the racist caricature bit. I do. They've done a lot in the comics to get away from that, but even so, it's just like, I kind of like a Mandarin done properly, but. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm not going to
yeah.
judge it for what it's not.
Exactly. Well, when we get the first teaser trailer, which I assume it'll drop, I'm gonna go with it'll drop before Black Widow is out, a couple weeks, because
I
it'll be
should hope so.
attached. So I'm assuming
So
it's
we've got to
attached.
get a teaser for it before that, surely.
You would hope so. Well,
So a teaser, maybe like a teaser this month or next. When's Black Widow coming out?
July?
Is it July or is it June?
Yeah, it's July. It's after Loki. I just checked.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So got July.
I suppose you could drop the teaser trailer midway through Loki, just like you dropped the Loki trailer in Black Widow midway through Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And then cause you got to have enough time between the teaser and then the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So then drop the trailer with Black Widow and do it that way. That makes sense.
Exactly. Well, I suppose when we get more, there's bound to be leaks coming. Lego, watch out for those because
Yeah.
they've already had a couple. Which again, the old Lego leaks confirm a giant white dragon. So
Yeah, they do.
it's
We're getting a lot of big, colourful monsters this year from Marvel.
yeah, we are.
Because those Lego Links for the Eternals, those deviants are like trippy as hell. They're really weird.
And they already parted way with the biggest white villain of all, Joss Whedon.
Oh,
But
oh.
I tie that in topically. Oh boy, see what I did there? Let's just get on to our last topic. Spider-Man 4, huh? Spider-Man 4. Well, if there was ever a time where this is a possibility and I could say, you know what, this makes sense and they want it to happen, we're at that point. We are absolutely there now. So the big rumor has been that apparently Sony is interested in doing a follow-up to Spider-Man 3, I should say. Doing Spider-Man 4, Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire. And this is apparently on the heels of them, seeing, again, Sam Raimi work his magic and what he's doing with Doctor Strange, I guess pun intended there, but also having Tobey back on set as Spider-Man and all that. I mean, look, they know that film would be huge. Like, the nostalgia factor would drive it. The Spider-Man after the multiverse would drive it. It has that nostalgia feel where it doesn't matter what else happens, that would get the bulk of the hype. Sort of like how they're bringing Keaton back for Flashpoint. Everybody's excited for Keaton. Barely anybody's talking about the Flash in that movie. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You figured that one out. So it's, I mean,
well, like the movies have now just become the comics, haven't they?
yeah.
They're just copying each other all over the place. In not so subtle ways, some in subtle ways. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna. This is where we are now. This is where the bubble pops.
Mm-hmm.
Maguire coming back, like, yeah, nah.
I mean, I say this with hatred incoming, I know. One, I don't know who this would be for other than member berries nostalgia, which, again, I would see it because, hell yeah, Sam Raimi back.
See, this is a Zack Snyder's Justice League situation.
Yeah. Let him do the movie he wanted to without us meddling like we did the first time, which I'm all for that. But on the other part of it, and this is a big one, I would rather get a TASM 3 and then make right with Mark Webb. I feel that universe got shafted and destroyed, and Andrew Garfield had so much potential, and I would have liked to see a streamlined version of that. And I feel like Spider-Man 3, where it ends, you're like, yeah, that ended. I'm good with that. TASM just cuts off. So it's like, if I could have
Literally,
one or the other, I would
the
take
whole
TASM.
thing ends on a cut to black.
Yup. With him murdering Paul Giamatti, so...
Yeah. R.I.P. Giamatti.
It's... I'm very conflicted on this. Like, I would like to see it. But then, at the same time, here's the position we put ourselves in. They're not going to be shooting multiple Spider-Man movies at once. So, this would definitely then delay any other Spider-Man live-action project, whether it's a follow-up or a giant crossover for Sony, Spider-Verse, or whatever, unless their plan is, hey, look, while you take Spider-Man and put him into the next Avengers movie, we're over here
We'll take Spider-Man. And...
Exactly. Which, that way, I could see it making sense, because there's no way they sit out on Spider-Man, don't renew that deal, and have to start, because they have to start production on a new Spider-Man movie within like 2.5, 3 years. There's no way they sit on it, let it lapse, and go, whoops, we lost our moneymaker. Like,
No, there's no way it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how, if this is true, I don't know how I'd feel about it. I feel like the whole Keaton thing and Flashpoint is, and even if they're both in Spider-Man No Way Home, which is still going to have, we kind of all know it. I'm still going to put that if there.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know. But, I feel like having the old ones in a movie that's completely new is better than going, here's a revival of that franchise.
Yeah.
Like having Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man, it's not called 3, but you got another Spider-Man and do another TASM and whatever. It's like it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too much. But... And again, as you said, who's it for?
Yeah.
Like, yes, there's a vocal amount of people on Twitter, but the general audience gonna give a crap? I don't think so.
Guess what we learned in the past week? A vocal amount of people on Twitter does not translate to clicks.
Yeah, you get beaten by Judas and the Black Messiah.
A movie that I didn't even know was a thing till it started to make the headlines. I was like, what the hell are people talking? Oh, okay, cool. So, I mean, that's a thing. Surely they gotta realize that. And, there is the old factor. Like, I have personally seen people be like, I don't want to watch those old movies. They don't care what they are. They're just like, we're not watching old movies. I'm like, but, all right, whatever, screw it. Like, it's...
I'll say people are like that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple.
Yep. I literally know people that have not seen, like, Star Wars movies besides, like, the prequels and the new ones. They're like, no, the old ones look too old. I'm like, huh. Interesting, but all right.
I mean, I get it. I can understand it.
Oh, yeah.
There's some games I won't play just because it looks too old. Some movies I won't watch because it's just too old. But it is what it is. Some people have that. Like, was it before my time on this earth? Then I don't care.
Yeah.
that was history. Like, I only want new stuff now.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like, I'd watch it. I'd see where it goes. I grew up with the Spider-Man like a lot of people did, so I'd definitely watch it, but there'd be no excitement for me whatsoever for it.
No, because it's a sidestep. Like, it wouldn't further enhance
unless they went completely balls to the wall and they did a Renew Your Vows adaptation. And it's like, he's older, he's with MJ, they have a kid, focus more on the kid. Boy, if you do that, then I'd be cool, I'll be on board.
That will get some backlash, but then...
Oh, it would, but it would be the only way, at least for now, being 10 years later on, I think it's the only thing you can do.
But this is Sony, they'd be like, we need to do Old Man Parker. It's not even a thing. Do Old Man Parker, all right?
Yeah, that's true.
And they've seen the memes, they'd be like, no, he has to be Peter B. Parker. That's what they would make it. Like, his life is terrible, this and that, memes. He's still... We got to bring back Ditkovich so he can ask for rent when Peter Parker's 58 years old. Like, it would be a member berries slapstick. I just feel like they would, like, lean into the meme culture of it. I don't know why it's Sony. They already do it to a degree. I mean, Remember
I'd say the Venom marketing.
Yo. French
Your
fries.
first when you have your last French fry. It's just like Sony.
Oh.
Why?
Yeah.
So cringy. Oh, nice. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. There's no skin off mine nose one way or the other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential for it, but I can't see Raimi or Sony going in the direction that I'd personally wanted to. But I suppose that's just movies in general, really, isn't it? But...
Well, here's the thing. If it comes down to Sony and Disney sitting at a table with Raimi, and he has to choose which company he's working on the next comic book film with, he's going with Disney.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, it's not just because, oh, he hates Spider-Man now, or, look, Sony will pull the rug underneath you faster than Disney. Sony already did it right the day they started shooting Spider-Man 4. They pulled it out from underneath him because they were already literally started on that. There's way old set photos on message boards that you can still find of like this like water tank on, and it's old photos, but they started production on it right as they canceled it. And you're with Disney and you realize they have 20th Century. They have other outlets where you can guarantee yourself other projects while you do this. Sony, what's Sony going to offer you? An original picture for Crackle? Yeah, no thanks. Like,
yeah.
It's
yeah, I think Sony, it might not even be a thing that actually happens. It's just apparently an idea that they're up for. Because, of course, right now, Sony is just a Spider-Man movie machine.
No, that's all they are.
So, Uncharted was really bad. Well, what can we do? Not that we've seen anything from Uncharted, but I think it's going to be bad.
Yeah. It ain't looking.
So, Spider-Man and Jumanji, the two old reliables at Sony.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm pretty certain Jumanji's got a shelf life and it's coming quick.
It seems like the second movie already sort of took a dip, so... Yeah.
And I really like the second movie
Same.
as well.
Same.
It's just like, yeah, this is very much the same movie. Can we pull it off a third time? Let's find out.
Yeah. Well, okay, technically third, but second in this new reboot.
Yeah,
people get what I'm saying.
I mean, you could say it'll be fourth, fifth, because what was that Space Jumanji movie called?
Well,
Going with a Z?
I don't
Zariah or something like
that.
that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember it. Yeah.
Apparently that was a kind of a sequel to Jumanji, because it was in the same universe, so hey.
Huh.
Gone from Spider-Man 4 to the Jumanji verse. Zathura, that's the one. Thanks, chat.
Also, here's how they do it, right? They gotta bring in The Rock into Spider-Man 4. He's clearly gonna play a rhino.
Wouldn't he be Sandman? Because rocks, sand.
Sony's not aware of that connection.
What's geology?
This is Sony. They're like, Johnson, huh? Dwayne, huh? You're the Vulture. Wait, what?
I'd watch The Rock do Vulture. I think that'd be hilarious.
Oh, God. Just this giant mass of steroid-infused muscle flying through the sky, chewing the scenery in that same, like, beige, sweaty shirt he wears in every movie.
Oh, God. The archaeologist shirt?
Yeah. You know what? I need this now. That actually sounds pretty entertaining. I'm not going to lie.
I'll be down. But do they do the original Spider-Man 4? Is that... Or do you just tweak that slightly to be like 10 years later? I say 10 years. It'd be like more like 13, 20.
I would say you probably tweak it. Like, you would have to, I think, right? Like, you can't open up, like, a little time has gone by, because we're going to take one look at Tobey Maguire being like, oh my God, how is he being reanimated into life?
He's so old.
It's essentially going to turn into, like, Evil Dead 3 at that point, you know? Like, It's like, dude, he's a walking carcass at this point. Like, did you use the Necronomicon to bring him on set? I don't know at this point.
Let's give him a couple of martinis. Hey, Leo's here. Hey.
Oh, well, that's Leo's here to keep you in check, Toby.
He's the one with the Oscar. You listen to him.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. Like,
But what was it? What was the original Spider-Man 4 about?
So
I know it had Vulture.
the Vulture revealed that he had a daughter who was Felicia Hardy, who was actually the Vulturess, not the Black Cat. And it was going to have Sony mandated, of course. It was going to introduce Carnage.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond that, it's just a lot of hearsay and ideas, but nothing ever materialized. Mysterio was going to make an appearance in it, played by Bruce Campbell. Yeah, so it was going to be a one-villain movie, specifically. That's what they were saying. Like, Vulture was going to be primary. His daughter, the Vultress, was going to be like, his right hand. And then Carnage somehow involved. I'm guessing, look, we found leftover goop, and we try to do something with it. Oh, it's red at the end of the movie. Like, probably something like that. But yeah, it seemed like it was more back to basics. Not so Spider-Man 3.
You mean back to formula? Someone had to say it, and someone was gonna say it.
Yeah. Well, that is true though.
But yeah, that sounds horrendous. I don't want that. Yeah.
No, same. I don't want a. Well,
do a renew your vows. Just make everyone happy. Do it that way.
Or how about this? Sony, because I know you're stupid and you don't get the connection here, but here's the thing. Hopefully that person from Sony or those people from Sony are listening to this. Take Spider-Man 4 and set it about 20 years after. Peter's got a daughter, he's married and all that. Then you scrap everything you've done with Kraven's Last Hunt and make a Spider-Man 4 Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
That way we got a story about two men who have hit their age limit. They want one big thing. Peter has had enough of this. Kraven is like, this is my ultimate job. This is going to be my last hunt. There you go. 2 birds, 1 stone, and we never get Kraven as a standalone. It's literally the best way to do it.
Say, you're just doing Old Man Logan, but for Parker.
Yep.
That's call it Peter.
That'd actually be really good.
We'll just call it Parker, whatever it is.
Parker, Kraven's Last Hunt. Like, that could be... Yeah. Honestly, see, that movie would interest me, because it's like, oh man, 2 grizzled old dudes who have just seen everything, just going at it. Yeah. That'd be...
Old angry man, Tobey Maguire. He's just drunk on the set and they just filmed it. That's what it is.
Oh.
He's having one of his moments.
I said I didn't want to work Tuesday nights. They have free martinis down the street. True story. It's one of the reasons Spider-Man 3 stopped production. He was mandating he doesn't work like certain nights of certain days because of like, it was ridiculous.
See, anyone else did that, they'd get absolutely slammed on. But oh no, Toby's the best thing to ever happen to things. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, come on, guys, come on.
And maybe it exists, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out.
I mean, if it happens, I will gladly watch it. It's nostalgically, it's my Spider-Man. Not that I'm saying it's perfect or anything. I'm just saying nostalgically, it's the best Spider-Man we could have gotten in the time because of the circumstances of superheroes being looked down upon. And it's the most... when you looked at the X-Men or whatever the hell else they were doing, everything was black leather, and suddenly here's Spider-Man. You're like, yeah, that looks like the thing I like. So, it's...
Yeah.
It did its job for when it was trying to do its job. But yeah, like, if it happens, I won't be opposed to it. I will gladly see it and talk about it and get hyped for it. But Sony probably has the same feeling as well. They're like, well, why don't we wrap up this Spider-Man and see what happens next, or if we're even around in a couple years. So,
yeah.
It's Sony. But
I say it's not a Sony idea. How many ideas
they rival WB at this point.
Yeah. Remember Silver and Black? That was 2 movies, then it was 1, and now it's none.
Remember Men in Jump Street or whatever the hell?
Oh, I was excited for that movie.
That sounded so crazy. It's like, oh, that's Sony, what?
I say that would have been perfect, but oh well. The one thing they should have done, they didn't. But...
Yeah. Leave it to them.
But hey, you got to milk every version of Spider-Man there's ever been.
True. Legit. Milk every version.
Like apparently the '90s guy being in Spider-Verse 2. I
I'm all
believe that
down
when I
for
see it.
I am down for that.
Oh, yeah, just put anyone in Spider-Verse. I don't care.
True. It's not like they're gonna have massive roles they'd be supporting at best, so or
Yeah,
even
you would have like
cameos.
your core three at the start and then a bunch more at the end.
Yep. Yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. That is gonna be it. That is gonna be the end of the show. So thank you everybody for joining us. We, as always, will be back next week, and hopefully you guys all have a good weekend and go watch our audio commentaries. They're coming out.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. Go watch them. Go.
Go read and watch Invincible as well.